Satan transforms himself into an angel of light, and his ministers of angels of righteousness. Now, yeah, that's true. But is it true again? Is it true twice? Does he transform himself to an angel of righteousness? As in, he becomes and his YouTube agents as the same? Well, yeah, I think so. I think that happens the first time around to deceive people. And then he transforms himself into an angel of righteousness. Because if he doesn't, planet Earth, it's never gonna, that's too much noise. Yeah, it's husky and all, but it's just too much noise. Everything I say is just what I believe. It's hit or miss, hot or cold. It could be, maybe it is, maybe it ain't. It's not going to hurt me one way or another, or anybody else. But I believe that when Satan is loose, once that 1,000-year millennium is up, it makes no sense for it to be literal, a literal 1,000 years, and then it's like, what do we even? If it's a literal 1,000 years, right? What's the point of even preaching the Bible today? None of us are going to experience it. There's no point in any of it because we're going to be dead, long gone, right? Well, I think that when Satan is loose for that little season to go out and deceive all nations, it's because he turned himself into an angel of righteousness. At some point, Satan is Satan from the beginning. Good one. Good one. Satan is Satan from the beginning. And then he has his people pull U-turns in front of you and drive as slow as possible. But it's a good thing I'm not in a hurry to go do anything. Because thank God it's Friday. Oh man, thank God I have 2 days to not work, and then it's back at it again for the rest of my life until I die. It's what a joy to look forward to in life. Huh, Elite? I mean, you guys, you know that feeling, right? Angels from heaven who fell. You know what it's like, don't you? No? You have no clue? You never had a rough day in your life? I just don't understand how people who are angels from heaven, so wicked, what the hell is the point of going to heaven? Look, this guy he's working extra overtime. I believe his job was to just do a U-turn in front of me. Slow down, just be there, get other people angry behind me who are impatient. Pretend he doesn't know how to park. So when Satan transforms himself to an angel of righteousness for the second time, I believe he actually does. She's gonna fall her face right into her to her car, her luggage. Nothing I can do about it. Nothing I can do about it. You put the camera on the druggies and they get offended. Did you see the woman? She spit on me. I don't know if you've seen it, but it's okay. I'm used to it. And then her husband threw a cup, probably like a milkshake. I didn't want him to waste it, and hit my truck. But there's nothing I can do because the drug is more important than anything else. So when Satan turns himself into an angel of righteousness, he deceives all the nations because everybody just assumes that he's still Satan. Poor people. All they think about all day long is how to get that next fix. Here, let me see what. Let me see what's going on here. Let me show you what happens when. That's what spit looks like. Pretty gross, huh? It's the price you have to pay. You know what I wish for the person that spit on me just there, and her boyfriend that threw the milkshake in my truck? I wish that at some point in their life they get off the drugs, they find a home, they get a job, and do some good for the community. But not in Satan's world. This is his world. And it just doesn't seem like anything's ever going to change, does it? I guess the reason why things are still irritating with the YouTube platform is because people are still up, and you know, they're rich as hell. They have their YouTube channels. They don't, you know, they'll dig a ditch for their friend. Everybody will just dig a ditch for their friends. Everybody has a selfish motivation to it. The people with the highest channels, when you're able to, well, your channels are monetized, right? You get thousands of views. Thousands upon thousands. you're pushing a false interpretation of Scripture. Your father's the devil, and there's no changing that. You're going to take it all the way to the very end, just like I am too. And you think you're going to get away with it continuously. But rightfully so, because you've been getting away with it continuously from the beginning of time. So I don't actually blame anybody for it. But when your interpretation is you have to go to church to feed your people, you have to feed your flock. Your wife told you, showed you a passage, you have to go and feed the flock, right? Your wife. Well, what is your wife? What is your wife? Isn't your wife from within? And it's not even actually somebody that we see. And maybe you're standing behind a pulpit feeding, you are feeding your flock. They come up to the altar. It's like an altar call. And you're just standing behind the pulpit feeding your sheep, feeding the flock. And it's irritating to listen to me because I have a true interpretation. And all of this time, remember Jonathan Kleck was talking about the Hoover Dam? Remember that? 11/11, the Hoover Dam. I wonder if they'll just block the street for me. Just for me. Remember the Hoover Dam? Jonathan Kleck, a false prophet. He said the Hoover Dam was going to explode on 11/11/11. It's such hogwash, because Hoover means cleansing, cleaning, sucking up the dirt, right? Sucking up the dirt. Hoover means cleaning, cleansing, sucking up the dirt. Dam it's some kind of obstruction. It's like a wall, retainer wall. It's something that holds back the flood. Hoover Dam. Explosion is, it's something that can be destroyed. A dam can be destroyed by when someone explodes. You can explode. It's like God's wrath. God's wrath. He exploded on the scene. He destroyed a retaining wall that was withholding water, clear crystal water. The dam was retaining, and Jonathan Kleck said on 11/11/11 it was going to be, that was the beginning of the destruction. Who's Jald Karim? JK? Jald Karim? I like that at 5:55 a.m. at some point. Who's Jald Karim? Well, he's one of the 3 unclean frogs that started the YouTube platform. There's 2 others. There's Jald Karim, Stephen Chen, and Chad Hurley. If Chad Hurley has anything to do with Billy Barf, Bill Gates, Chad Hurley, Barf, Billy, Kim Jong, anything to do with that portion over there, then that would be a tie-in. But I don't know. I'm just speculating and accusing, because I've been through this before with the little Satans, and now it's time for the big Satans. It's time for the big channels. It's time for them to turn on me. What are you talking about, Robin? They never even mentioned you. I know. They don't make their whole sermons about what I said about them. No, not at all. They don't subliminally speak loud and clear about the things that Robin Henry Tees is talking to him about. Remember Stephen James DeShawn? I don't know where he's at, and maybe I guess there's a seal upon him or something. Because he transformed himself into an angel of righteousness pretty soon. And then Stephen Steve Chen Ben Noon? Is it Stephen Chen Ben-Noon? I don't know. Could be. But again, I can only speculate and make accusations, because I'm the accuser of the brethren. Oh, and my father. My father, who's my brethren, my brother. The only way my father can be my brother is if he mated with his mother, right? But his father birthed his sister, which is his mother, first, and then birthed, my father. And then when my father was old enough to mate with his mother, which would be my aunt, and his sister, well, then he would be able to be my brother also, right? Because technically if it's my aunt, brother, mother, sister, it's just so confusing how that works, but it happens that way. All right. Not gonna do it. Not gonna do it. And Jald Karim. I looked it up in Gematria. Yeah, I mean, it can tell you some stories, I suppose. But with Jald Karim having the initials of JK, Jonathan Kleck, and he always talks about his jaw being unhinged. And the hospital I was born at, there's a jaw unhinged with a tooth for a tooth, with the military China boot, one tooth in the front, one tooth in the back. Always talking about jaws being unhinged. And your jaw's going to be left wide open. You need a spatula to lift your jaw up. And then the heliport that's right there at my hospital, General Hospital, has the heliport looks like a spatula. And Job was from the land of Oz. And there's Eagle Doctor, Eagle Drive, and Oz Prey. They meet together. The land of Oz, the wizard behind the curtain, the sorcerer. Pay no attention to that man behind the curtain. So with JK, with Jald Karim talking about the Hoover Dam, Jonathan Kleck talking about the Hoover Dam exploding. On 11/11/11, on April 23rd, 2005, the first upload on YouTube was Jald Karim's Me at the Zoo. That first upload from that day when you counted that day, if you just add 11 years, 11 days, and 11 months later, it lines up with the very first day that I uploaded my first video on YouTube. It was 11 years, 11 months, and 11 days later that, with just me alone, just my own world, my own decision. Nobody told me to do it. Nobody led me to do it. Not one single person led me to do it. Although Barack Obama really influenced me to partially influence me to get up on YouTube and explode onto the scene because of my irritation about the dam that was holding back the true gospel, the truth, the rivers of flowing, the waters of the flowing rivers of water. The dam was holding back, and it was pissing me off. So I exploded onto the scene in order to hoover the dirt, the filth that's rolling off of people's tongues. Because apparently, I didn't know at the time, God was telling me to go, do it, go. Go over there to that dam and hoover it, Robin. Hoover that dam and just destroy it. That way, the true gospel can flow, and the truth can start to be, well, it can start rolling off your tongue, and people can start hearing it, and then, but the thing is, it's kind of cruel, God, what you're doing, because you didn't tell me that I would be so severely attacked and hated, and I mean, literally just, it symbolizes, I go to Kensington and Allegheny, the heart of Philadelphia's drug lord, the heart of the heroin capital of the world, and I get spit on just for driving by and putting my third eye to show you, look, this needs to change. This needs to go away. You see that woman there falling over, digging into the only thing that she has left in a cart, just strolling it around. Something has to change with the way that things are. Right there, actually, that right there needs to be changed. And if I had some type of ability, I would do it. Even though she spit on me and her boyfriend threw a milkshake at my truck. Apparently missed, but came close to it. And then on the YouTube platform itself, it was the same thing. It's just a bunch of fake people acting, pretending, being friendly, but really in their mouth is just a venomous poison of asps. And then I get lied about. Then the king leader sends his flock in my direction. To spread more lies. Because what Jonathan Click said was on 11/11/11, he didn't, what you thought he meant Oh, you thought he meant the actual date itself? No. No. It's like the lottery. It's reading between the lines. Yeah, the numbers are there, but it's more of a timeline from one date to another. 11 11 11. It's more like from the day that I upload my first video, me at the zoo, talking about how long our elephant trunks are that are concealed inside of our bodies. That elephant trunk, that it's similar to the tail of Florida, the whiptail lizard. It's similar to that. That's all I need. That's all I need to say. That's it. What's really cool about the elephants is they have really long trunks. And that's pretty much all I have to say. Well, that's great, Jald Karim. I'm so glad to hear about your long trunk. How wonderful is that? Some of you just can't keep those long trunks to yourself, can you? No, Robin, we can't. We can't wait to meet you, because we're gonna, this is it's like Job and his friends telling them stories, because they're all liars and fear porn pushers, and then in the end, basically, they get God smacked in the end. But in the meantime, it's as frustrating as it could possibly be, because when you're the only one doing it in real time, in real life, in your own life, the only one. I'm sure there's others. But in my life itself, what I'm doing is just strictly, it's me here, doing it, saying it, speaking it, walking it, dealing with it, the disgust and the sickness in my heart that it won't leave until I'm either dead and in heaven, finished from this world, or Satan transforms himself into an angel of light and deceives all nations. One last time. Because when Satan gets beat in a match, it's over, right? What happens with the UFC fighters, the boxers? What happens when you have a title bout and you lose? You're the champion, right? You're the king champ. You're like Mike Tyson, just knocking people out. But when he finally gets beat, does he stand in the ring as if he's still the champion? Or does he take the belt off and give it to the one who beat him? It's similar to well, I mean, that's everything's set up anyway, but it's even more so. Like Mahomie, the storyline that Jacob Israel wrote for him, for you. Was that you? Was that you behind Jacob Israel? Is that you, Mahomie, behind that mask? And then Jalen Hurts, was that you, Johnny? Because you were representing the Eagles and they did the bald eagle and they got beaten. And it seems like every lane I get in, the other lane opens up clear, and then all of a sudden it's like a Truman Show when him and his wife are getting ready to drive off, and then the Gang Stalking Corporation is just everywhere. Don't you guys get tired of doing that, or no? Is this even a real world? Am I just in a zone, dreamland? People they're not even real. They're programmed to be whatever. I mean, I don't know. But with Mahomie and his the storyline of the Rocky Balboa, I was just on your phone, you have little reports of, I don't know if it's Metro Google.com or something. They show you little clips of stuff, little news clips, and how people are just worshiping that guy because it's like, he had a knee injury and he just, he's like a freak of nature. No, he didn't have a knee injury at all. And it was scripted all the way through. So, but why do I care? Because I'm so tired of fakery, fakeness, liars. I'm stuck in a world filled with liars and fakery, and I'm just stuck here. The only way to get out of here is through death. But I'm not doing it to myself. So whenever it happens, the sooner the better would be. Oh, don't. Yeah, Robin, you're going to get your wish. Because we take the Bible literally. And we're literally going to kill you. So just get ready for it. Yeah, well, so be it. So be it. Judas is my buddy. Thanks, Judas. The real one. Sometimes I feel like, I don't know if anybody else goes through this. Maybe YouTube was just set up to, like, the gang stalkers. They talk about being gang stalked, and they push fear, like, there's so many bad things, stories of gang stalking. And even some people comment on my channel, like the one person, I don't know how many times you said you got hit by a car and this and that and the other thing, but I don't believe the gang stalkers have the authority to do that. I could be wrong. It could, it's Satan's world. He can do whatever he wants to. It's his rules. But then again, he can't do anything unless God approves it. So, going back to God approving things and allowing Satan to just basically, it's like this, the Job story. The story of Job, it reminds me of God being played, being tricked, being being led into, hey Satan. It's like this. Hey Satan, have you considered my servant Job? Nah, who's that? Come here, look, here. He's over here. Look, there he is. Oh, nah, what about him? I never paid attention to him until you pointed him out. Well, he's righteous and he's worships me, and he hates evil, and he can't stand you and your people, and he's here to destroy him. Oh, really? He seems to be awfully prosperous, but that's only because you allowed him to have that prosperity there, God. But I bet you one thing. I bet you if you take away his wealth, he'll curse you to. No, he won't. I bet you he will, God. Trust me, he will. Nuh-uh. You don't think he would he? Hell yeah, he will. He's going to curse you to your face. No, you know what, Satan? Fine, Satan, fine. Here, touch him. Here, take his stuff. Here, do that, do this, do the other thing. Like, as if God is some kind of idiot and he doesn't know. Oh man, look at what happens to me when I just talk about it. It's an amazing thing that just takes place. Now, I'm not the one that did it. It's that gang stalker there. He's the one that was commanded to cut straight across into my lane just to cut me off. That, hey, could have just been a random circumstance. Could have happened. Maybe he just wanted me to look at his license plate. Who knows with the way Satan does things around here. A lot of things are just super unnecessary. But however, Satan loves to be worshipped, don't you, Satan? You love just seeing how people are so controlled, and at every time that you point, they say, how high do you want me to jump? So, Satan, have you considered my servant who doesn't listen to you? Who isn't going to follow your ways? He's going to hear from your little serpent lying liars that they're going to come and try to tell him what he's doing wrong. And he's, in the end, Satan, what Job's going to do is he's going to, it's what's written. That's what he's going to do. In the end, it's what's written. I admire Job. Is that Joe Biden? Joe Biden? Job? Does Joe Biden get redeemed? Or is he a lost cause forever? Is he in there just biding time? Is that my dad? Is Joe Biden my dad? My mother, father figure? I still don't really know truly what's going on with that picture. But it's there, and it's not a random thing. And nobody's going to tell me the truth about it. They're all just going to act stupid. I almost just want to be isolated completely from everybody. From everybody and everything. The world sickens me to death. I'm just more and more sickened by it. Even though there's some days I have good days. You know, I'm on like a roller coaster ride. Some days are good, other days just sickened to death. Some days are encouraging, other days just sickens me. Because you're all just sneaky. And you think you're going to continually get away with it your entire life. And you're not. You're just not going to. Because even in the end, when you die, you think you're going to heaven? Well, hell no. You don't even believe in heaven. Right. That's why you're not going. Heaven's real. There's two different types of heavens. Well, three, actually. The heavens, like the sky up in the air, you look. And then the heavens is in their spirit, where if you're anything like Lot, your soul is vexed day to day. But it's because your spirit is in heaven. But you dwell among the devils. And the devils just love being devilish. And then there's the heavens in the literal land that it just seems like nothing but devils were up there too. Especially if you guys are the fallen angels and you came down here lying through your teeth. Like, it doesn't really give me much hope for what heaven is. To be literally up there when you die? Like, I don't understand. And then down here, you have the reptilian race, the serpent race, and they want to kill you. They want to kill me too. It's like nobody really wants me around. I feel like I'm not wanted by anybody. I mean, some of you, I'm not looking for people to say, "Hey, Robin, I want you around," because who can believe what you say anyway? Remember, there's 7,000 that didn't. Yeah, but I can't see them. It's what? Where are you? Where is that? When does that manifest to the point of, as I live in the flesh, I finally get some type of backing, some type of confirmation, some type of relief, some type of rest, some type of something that says, here they are, Robin. Here they all are. I guess I have to meet God face to face. He has to be the one to tell me because I swear I'm living in the book of Job. But it's all in spirit. It's all in spirit, especially communicating with the devils as it is right now. Because what is a devil? A liar. Who's the father of lies? Well, your father, the devil. So if Job is talking to the devils and I'm communicating with devils, that yeah, it's all fine and dandy talking to you guys. Sometimes it's funny. It's even you guys get a kick out of it and you enjoy it, but you're still devils and you just forget. And so I think that's why there's those churches and those letters written. And I believe we're at that time where it's literally playing out. And I just get to be a part of it. I get to be a part of telling the story and walking it out and just dealing with the sickness of the world. So, considering that that's happening at this exact moment, and in the end it's supposed to be taken literal when it's been in spirit for the first 6 years, when does it end, Lord, my God? When does it end? When does my life end? Because what is the point of anything? What is the point? You wake up, you go to work. Work is work. What do you do? It's just passing time. Passing time to get some transferred pieces of paper that tells you that, well, if you waste your life for this X amount of time, you'll be able to pay for rent. Even though in heaven you don't have to pay anything, right? You guys are free. You guys are free up there. You don't have a master over you. But I just, for the life of me, I don't understand how, if you're fallen angels from heaven, maybe I just been lied to and people are acting like they're fallen angels, but they're really talking about inside of their body. What falls out is their angel, their wife, their mate, the one you just can't get enough of. Just love so much. Lover of yourself. Your belly is your God. And then your belly can also be your God because you eat too much food. But you can also trade in that little paperclip, Robin. You can trade that little red paperclip for a 2-story farmhouse. No thanks. I'll just wait until I die and go to heaven. I'll get my rest then. It's not so important. So then you won't miss it, will you, Robin? Just give it up. Just give it up, Robin. Just give it to us. Should I keep my complaint to myself, or should I speak it out loud so the Lord God Almighty can hear my complaint? How I eschew evil. I abhor evil. Can't stand it. It sickens. I don't know how it can't sicken other people. I don't even know how you can do it. I don't know how lying is just like it's nothing and everybody lies and everybody's going to lie to me. Nobody's going to tell me the truth to my face, in the flesh, about things that I need to know in my own personal life. Like, meaning before I was born, what was the plan? Whose lap was I sitting on in that picture? Who are you really? And who is above him? Is that Satan literally in that picture? And then who is the Nephilim that's sticking his tongue out on the other end? There's 3 of you. Are you guys the 3 unclean frogs talked about? Is it just my portrait, my family portrait, or is there many others? And is that even my real family, or is it the reptilian race? Mom, did you have 5 other children that you would like to tell me about? But they're all red and ruddy? Because you have someone who, here's what I've learned. You can look at a female and a male. You can see them both. I mean, you can even see them naked. You can't. It's just there's a male and there's a female. All right, well, and then, but there's things that are hidden, and maybe it's just for the male. It's just a show, but maybe what's there is just a show, and it's really turned in. And then the male is really the one that is the female. And then the female is really the serpent race, like Eve, because what did Adam do? Well, Job said, if I was like Adam and hid my what did he say? I don't think he said pecker, but he meant pecker. I don't know if he said, but he said something in my bosom. So that means Adam hid it in his bosom, and Eve became the woman, the one that wears the pants. So what I've learned is you can see two perfectly normal looking people. The man can have a full grown beard, but yet he's the receiver. He's the receiver. He's the one with the vagina. And the woman is the one with the serpent inside of that retracts and comes out and goes back in, and it's just what it is. And I'm not even judging you for it. So I just want you to understand that for the people that I'm talking about, where it's you, it's your girlfriend or wife, you're the husband or boyfriend, and what I'm telling you is it's what's going on with your body. It's just something that you're either born that way, or you went with the birth of Venus, the Lucifer, the birth of that, at least the one cabal that's going with that interpretation of what Lucifer is. So there could be two Lucifers, or there could just be one. An imposter, which would be the false prophet, trying to, because I remember when Stephen James John, he was like talking about Jonathan Clegg, stop trying to be me, just don't piss me off, stop trying to be me, as if you're Lucifer, right? But you're saying you're Adam. But if you're Adam, did you hide something in your bosom? And then where's Eve? Because one of the cabals is trying to teach Adam and Eve is the one, it's one person with both in one. And then when women turn to men, when men turn to women and deceive their boyfriends or husbands, and they can't tell, then that fits right into I am against you women who hunt the souls of men. Because what is the soul of a man? It's his semen. It's the spark of life. It's the soul of man, and hunting his soul, spirit, soul, however you want to look at it, trying to destroy you. And then that goes back to Job, where he says, if I was deceived by a woman, then let her grind on another man, and let other men bow down to her, if I am deceived by my wife. That's what he said. So if I'm deceived by my wife, then, well, that would be the case, correct? The problem I have is the secrets. And the people hiding the secrets and lying, it's just because, well, that's how you were born. You were brought up, raised up that way. You don't know any better. lying to you is not lying in your view is not even a problem. It's just what you just do it like it's nothing. So I could be an accuser. I could be accusing gang stalkers of lying to me, to my face, saying, nobody's communicating to me in my ear, telling me that where you are, that when you walk out of the garage, I'm going to mirror you. Nobody told me to do that. Well, if that's true, then it's something else where you are programmed. You're programmed by Satan somehow, either from birth. Well, it would have to be from birth. If you're not lying to me, but yet somehow you're just programmed to be there, to do that, to get in my way, to cut over, to know I'm a target through some type of senses that you're embedded with from birth, and I'm the one that isn't, then, all right, well then, I'm sorry for accusing you of doing something that you're doing, but you don't even know or think. You're just subconsciously unaware. And you're just doing and doing and doing these things, and you have no clue that I'm even around or anything. Nothing's actually speaking to you, telling you. But that's way too hard to believe. I believe more as in you do have a communication set up. But then again, it could be from birth where you're all hearing the Lord God, which is Satan, in your ear. And you think it's the good, like the good God Almighty. But good God Almighty, I don't, for the life of me, I just don't understand why you have Gangstalk Corporation. I don't understand why you love being worshipped so much. Just don't get it. And why is it that I'm the brunt of it? Why did you forsake me all these years, Father? Why did you leave me down here? I mean, it's kind of selfish to think. It really is selfish when I think about it. How you're from heaven, and then you decide to have a child and just leave them down here on earth. But this earth isn't actually what we were told it was. It's actually hell. This is hell, and I'm in it. I live here. And I was lied to my entire life about everything. All I want to know is the truth. That's it. I respect more the truth. I don't care how bad the lie or the cover-up is going to hurt, because there's not much more left that can be revealed to me that is disappointing to know how much I've been played. Like, how much more, when you show me videos of, like, how much more can it be? What is it? It's like the only thing left really is, what exactly is my wife doing, and who is she really, and who exactly is my son, and what does he do? They're the only two things left over. Well, basically it's pretty much about family members. What is it that my family members are, and what they're doing, and what they're covering up? What are they hiding? I think I heard Jacob Israel name everybody in my family so far in a sense of some sort. Like Troy, who's married to my sister, who's a CIA agent. He's been I think he's almost retired now. He's about 55. Retired. And you've already talked about your niche world. My wife's nickname is Niece, because Denise. She doesn't like being called Denise. Denise. So she shortened it to Niece. And so not only the niche world and thank you, niece. I am missed you too, right? And then Trevor, who is her son, and Jacob. You said at one point you don't like Trevor, but you were talking about Trevor from the Daily Show. But what am I? What is this? You're looking at me right now, right, through the camera. What exactly is this besides a daily, well, you can say Daily Show. I call it the Truman Show. It's a daily, the camera's on me 24/7. Whoever has access to watching me all day long is part of the Daily Show. So people see what I do when I'm supposed to think I'm in private, but I know damn well I'm not in private anywhere that I am. But I'm just going to be myself regardless in front of the Lord God's eyes. You're not going to change me. Those uncomfortable feelings have left. What you guys do in secret should be more embarrassing once that's exposed, but it's not, because you don't think it will ever be exposed. But I'm telling you what you're doing right now, which should convict you of your sin, but it doesn't. However, there are some that it did, and they actually despise what they used to do. So Jonathan Kleck, for example, was Jonathan Kleck full of shit back in the day when he was talking about all these things happening? Of course, because the Lord God was telling him this and telling him that. Oh man, I didn't tell him anything. When I started YouTube, I didn't even know him. So when the Lord God was telling him stuff back then, I don't know if he was talking to the same Lord God that communicated to me to come after him. Now, I didn't know who I was coming after. I just know that I seen him. He was in the algorithm a few months beforehand when John from Denver said to go check out this Jonathan Kleck character. I'm like, all right, fine. A Tracy McGrady account said the same thing. I'm like, all right, there's two people telling me, go check this guy out. Let me go check him out. I got on it for a minute, and then I was going to stop. However, Jonathan Kleck would not let go. He wouldn't let go of me. It's like he just kept wrestling until daybreak. And he kept showing me that he wanted to talk with me. He kept showing me, he just wanted to show me stuff. And I knew he was talking directly to me, but it was so ridiculous to even say out loud that at times I withheld my tongue, because I'm not saying that's going to sound so ridiculous. Like, this guy that has 150,000 subscribers is talking about, he's making videos talking directly about me. And then finally, 3 years before he got canned from the Corey Barbie channel, to date, on 2/29/2020, he called me a nerd. He said, sorry, Robin Hood. And then he said, all of you shills are in deep, 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 deep trouble, after he apologized to me. When you break up the sentence, Serpent Talk 101. And then he said, you guys are in deep, deep, deep trouble, because yous are. And then 3 years later, he got canned from the Corey Barbie channel, because March 1st is really February 29th. So Jonathan Kleck, 3 years. It's pretty significant, don't you think? I just thought of it today. Like, wait a minute. His channel got canned on March 1st. Because I did a video about it March 2nd, which means it was finished the day before. And he wished me he called me a nerd on that day 3 years ago. And so that's exactly 3 years. And then 16 days later is his birthday. So what's going to happen on John 3:16? I just don't think it's... You know, what happened on John 3:16 3 years ago? The stock market crashed 3,000 points. It tumbled just like I said it would. Who did it? Me or Jonathan Click? Who did it? Who was in control of that day? Me or Jonathan Click? Or somebody else? I don't think I predicted it. I think I predicted the Super Bowl according to script beforehand, but I don't think I have the ability to predict the stock market crash, the worst stock market crash in history, when it was the first time I ever predicted the stock market to go up, down, or indifferent. For some reason that day, it was just the pattern, and that's what I can get a better feel for patterns as it's happening. So that day, that was the pattern. It tumbled 3,000 points. It literally went over 3,000 points to show me that it did tumble, and then it went down. I think it finished at 2997. There's a discrepancy between the amount of people that died in 9/11 in secret, because the 2997 I believe means in secret, or 2779. But it's like that day, all the people that were killed in secret, who may have, I think they may have went from male to female. The first responders, they all went in. They went in as male. They said their last goodbye to their family. They went underground. They became assimilated into a locust. And then you could have went, but then when they came out of their cocoon, they are now a female, and they can have children. Oh, and they can fool their husbands, the ones that they meet and have children with. How would you ever know? You have no clue. The General Hospital, they did a happy anniversary for me on 3/2/2023. I'll show you a clip when I get a chance. And then they're saying happy anniversary to some dude that is with some girl. And it's just, they have this look to them. Like, I feel like General Hospital, all the women are really men that did the Lucifer race thing and transformed to women. And then in the end, it said, she said something about us Davis girls. Davis girls. My kid's mom is Doris Davis. The Davis family. And Derek from McGlop of Truth. Derek Davis. Oh, look. Look at the number 10 car. It's like a race car. Is it a Camaro? Yeah, it's number 10. It's not really a race car, it just has stickers on it. So I've wondered about my kid's mom too. Like, what was that? Was she one of them? Or, you know, born transformed, or no? The only time that I'm judging someone is when you're trying to trick somebody. If you're a male and you transform to female, and that's what you did, and you had a baby, even a son, then that is a son of man. Now, if you go around parading that you're a woman to men, I just feel like the true sin is deception. Why don't you tell your mate that that's what you did? Well, you can't, because if you do, Satan will kill you, right? Isn't that what it is? Well, yes, he may have before, but remember, Satan has transformed himself into an angel of light. For real this time. He really is an angel of light. He's the light bringer. The true Lucifer is the light bringer. He's the one that sets the stage for God to be worshipped. He lost the battle of, it's called the Battle of Secrets. The battle of the hidden world. Once that hidden world is exposed, Satan loses. He has to give up the title. And the title is the deed of the land. You have to now give it up. Stop hoarding shit. Share the wealth. Time to help me crack the code of the lottery. That way, you know how the lottery has been? It's been set up the way it's been forever. And only the elites, children, and family members get to win the big buku jackpot. And then for the lost sheep and pigs, we get the leftovers, the scraps of the fall off the tables. We get the, if you get one Powerball and 2 numbers, we'll give you $7. All right. If you get 4 numbers, because there's no way in hell you're ever going to get all of them, because we know you're just not going to, because we're not going to allow it. And if you just so happen to, well, you're not going to pick your ticket up because you're going to disappear. But in the meantime, we're going to give you the scraps that fall off the tables. We're going to give you the $7 tickets so you can go buy another one and I don't know, buy a candy bar while you're at it. On me, because I'm Satan and I look out for my people, of course. But if you get 4 of them, I'll throw you $200. But if you get 5 of them, my elite children are going to get 2 million. You're only going to get 200. One more ball, because I give the number to my family, they get the 2 million. And then the family that really kisses my ass, oh man, I'm giving you the jackpot. You are going to get the jackpot. If Christ turned the tables over, flipped the tables over 2,000 years ago, if Christ died 2,000 years ago, what was the point? Like, I don't understand how people can't comprehend this or even think about it. Or maybe they just never did think about it. And it's my job to think about it, take my thoughts, upload my brain into the computer, which is the YouTube platform, and say, think about this one, people. This Jesus Christ character, who's a fictional character, because he was to the devils that try to make this a literal thing, Jesus Christ is a fictitious character, and the elite made him up. However, it doesn't mean that Christ's spirit isn't real. It just means these are stories that they told us, and it ain't what it seems to be. So if Christ died on that cross 2,000 years ago, died for the sins of the world. And then at some point, you would think the world would be a better place to live in. But as of today, it's the most disgusting, vile place to be. Because at every corner, why do I get tested every single morning I wake up and leave my house? At every moment, there's a temptation to just be irritated at something so ridiculous that makes zero sense, besides the fact that Satan is just sharpening his tools. Satan is just pulling his strings because he's a puppet master. And he loves being a puppet master. It's a hobby of his that he just thoroughly loves. I thoroughly can't stand it. And I never will accept it. It'll never go away truly, fully, to the point of, oh, well, that's just the way it is. Oh, well, yep, go ahead, that's fine. Yep, spit on me, yep, no problem. I'll just keep turning the other cheek. And action. The boss is coming, look busy. No, please. Please don't. Not on my, not for me, please. Just go about your business as usual. Don't pretend to be busy just because I walked by. I don't even pay you guys. And that's pretty much what it comes down to. The most frustrating part, if I can narrow it down in my life, is the fact that everywhere I go, it's almost as if I am the boss and people act and look busy. But yet I don't pay them, nor do I make the money in order to pay anybody. I am surveilled 24/7, paid attention to the most by the world elite kings of the earth, but yet my life doesn't make sense to why that's even the case, because if you have to go to work every day, you're not successful. There's no success as being a part of the elite's family. I don't know why you guys hate me so much, my brothers. It's like once you see me coming, like, here he comes, the filthy dreamer. No, it's not who I am. I'm not Joseph or Joshua or Yeshua or Yahamalak Shamalak. I'm Robin Henry Tees. I come in my own name. But my life is similar to the things that are written in the Bible. So what I'll do is I can actually show you clips of things that shows you, hey, wow, it's very similar to what Joseph Robinette Biden, his son or his junior, what is it, Joseph Robinette Jr.? Robin. Joseph. Was I not thrown into a pit? Do my brothers despise me? They see me coming, but they hate my guts still. Why is that? Because I'm telling the truth, and you're still trying to lie and hide stuff, and you can't get away from it. You want me to shut up. You have to watch my video. You're assigned to it by your boss. And I'm not going away, no matter what you do. You can think you're going to literally kill me. You can think you're going to literally nail me to a cross to play that out in a literal sense, with the Bible literally being played out. But in spirit, there's somebody that has more power than you, and it's the Most High God. Even though I don't understand him and get frustrated at him, I know he's real, and I know in the end, I win. But in the meantime, I don't win. In the meantime, I'm losing. But just the mere fact that, like with Kim Jean, you know what bothers me about you, Kim? Well, the fact that sometimes it's either one or two things. You're either acting as if, or you really are standing behind that pulpit, and I heard that there's some, I forgot what his name was, he had a problem keeping his pants up. And we also said, you got to look the part for the Lord. Like, just as long as you look like you're doing good and you sound like you're doing good, and the words rolling off your tongue are righteous. But I don't see that. I see something dark, and I have a problem with that. So I wrote you a letter saying I have a problem with what you're doing, because I see something different. I see when you're talking about laying your heavy burden upon someone, and when I see you say something about an altar call, and when I see you say something about your wife gave you a scripture and said, you know, you got to come and to feed your flock. Well, I look at it in a different, perverted San Francisco treat. And it's all fine and dandy because it's your life, you do what you want. But the interpretation of feeding your flock, that's not the right way to do it. We're not talking about literal goody two-shoe candy canes, right? Candy canes, canes candy. We're not talking about that. We're talking about, it's more like the bread of life and chomping at the bit and biding your time. It's more like that. If anything, it's not that my dad is chewing on my ear in my baby picture. It's the fact that he's, well, eating my flesh. Because what do I provide? I provide life to the dead. Can I raise the dead to life? Well, sure. Not like Jesus can. Not like the Jesus fictional character that was made up can do, because nobody can raise someone from the dead just by snapping your fingers. You can't raise yourself from the dead either. You cannot walk on literal physical H2O. You can't feed 5,000 with 2 fish and a basket of bread, and then all of a sudden you go hocus pocus abracadabra, and then it's like an endless bottomless pit of a basket that bread comes out of. If you want to still believe that interpretation, well, go ahead. Whatever floats your boat. But all I'm telling you is, it's not the true interpretation. It just doesn't happen that way. You can take 2 fish that you caught in the sea, that you rose up from, and you can take those 2 fish, and those 2 fish can witness to 5,000 people, and you can feed them that same bread that my dad is nibbling on. Eat my flesh, drink my blood. No, as you can see, I still have, my ear isn't bit like Tyson bit the ear of Evander Holyfield, the Holyfield. I still have my ear, it's intact, but my dad from the beginning must have known something about the future, which is also kind of disappointing, where you mean to tell me my life has already been played out and everything I've already done has already happened, and well, what's the point of being here? You already know what I'm going to do. Why is that? Why gang stalking's so precise? Because all you're doing is looking a day in advance, and you're going to communicate to the people live at the moment where to be 24 hours in advance to be so precisely accurate. It's disgusting. That's how disgusting it is to me, where you can't know that I was going to do that, besides the fact that I already did it beforehand. That was already seen like a deja vu. When I ruled the world. Imagine that. I free all of my sons. You mean I have sons? Do I have 7 sons? I didn't actually have sons through birth, but I gave birth to 7 sons? If I was the same as Job in this story, but it's not a literal story, it's a spiritual story, because the entire book is spirit. Only the devils want to play it out in an actual literal form. Only, not, playing the Bible out literally, but also in spirit is what it comes down to. But the interpretation of playing it out in a literal sense is what the problem is. That's the problem I've always had with the devils. Trying to play it out literally and misinterpret it at the same time. Well, if you go by what it means, you're not reading between the lines. The book, it's a Masonic written book. It's Masonic language all throughout. There's that confirmation again that I wasn't even asking for, but when that thing falls off, it confirms what I just said beforehand. So there you go. Enough said.